Now I'm here to start this video off with a crazy statement. Roman Torchwick is the best and most underrated villain in RWBY. I would even go as far as to say he's the best character in RWBY. Now, with such a wild statement, we would need some evidence. So let's go over the topics to break this down and help you get a better understanding of the video. We'll break down his power level, his IQ, his battle IQ, awareness, backstory, tragedy, and we'll compare it to some other characters. Now let's get started.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a dust shop open this late?
Now, let's start this off with power level. A lot of people think Roman is weak because he ran away during a warehouse, he lost to Blake, he lost to Team RWBY in a literal mech, and ran away in the first episode. When you look at all these losses in face value, yeah, Roman definitely does look like a terrible fighter. Like, trust me, I love him, he's one of my favorite characters, but he does look terrible. However, you know, that's just not the truth, because all of these things rely on context. Now, instead of talking about all the fights Roman did win, that mainly came from the book Roman's Holiday. Also, this video will feature spoilers, but yeah, that comes from Roman's Holiday. I will not be talking about that point. However, I will go into his losses, the things that make Roman look so bad. I will explain to you how they aren't as bad. So, let's get started.
You were worth every cent, truly you were.
Alright, so I would like to review one of his most best fights in my opinion. I love how it looks, I love everything about it. And yeah, let's talk about it. The warehouse fight, aka Sun and Blake versus Roman Torchwick. In this fight, you see Roman utilize range control and is able to adapt to fighting on the fly. A person with no semblance is fighting a person with a really good semblance, by the way. Blake, you know, because her semblance is amazing. I would say one of probably the best that people underline so hard. And in this fight, he is not only parrying Blake, but he is dodging her and beating her badly. So badly, she doesn't even manage to land a single hit on him until he gets sneak attacked. And when Sun shows up, he holds his ground against Sun. He's on the back foot, don't get me wrong, but Sun doesn't get a decent hit on Roman at all. The only time he's knocked down is from Blake. When he's knocked back, he goes back to prioritizing range control. This time though, not to hit anybody, but to split up Blake and Sun. He manages to split them up and uses his environment to his advantage. Now he has a point blank shot on Sun. Roman doesn't shoot Sun, however, he sees RWBY in the distance, shoots her to prove a point. Now, if RWBY wasn't there, guess what's happening in this scene if RWBY didn't show up? Either Sun is dead, because point blank shot is eliminating Sun, or his aura is broken and he's out of the fight. Blake is getting washed right after. Like, don't make it seem like Blake is Superman. Blake isn't Wonder Woman. Blake's losing that fight, right? Blake is losing. And you can say, oh, she cares for Sun, and da-da-da this, so she's gonna be really mad. Bro, it don't matter how mad you are, Roman is going to break you, bro. Roman is winning that fight. Like, an enraged Blake could maybe land some hits on Roman, don't get me wrong, but an enraged Blake is not beating a Roman Torchwick. Just not. It's not it, right? Now, Penny pulls up and Penny decides to say, you know what, I'm the greatest to ever do it. And Roman says, you know what, bro, you got it, Chief, I'm gone. And Roman skedaddles, he's gone, he's out of there. And wouldn't you too? Like, this girl shooting lasers, like, bro, she's destroying planes. Like, bro, these look like the pelicans from Halo. Why are you fighting that? Like, oh yeah, bro, let me fight against, spoilers, but let me fight against a robot who can literally destroy planes. Oh, well, maybe he can beat her in a physical. Bro, she stopped a car. she stopped a car. Sure, she may not have semblance, but guess what? She stopped a car. Like, bro, I would skedaddle too. I'm positive anybody would. Hey, bro, you got it. You shooting lasers. Adios, muchacho. It's gone. Anyways, let's talk about the next fight.
Hello, kitty cat. You miss me? You know, we really ought to stop meeting like this. People are gonna talk.
Let's go to the moment that everybody thinks Roman is a terrible fighter. This is the scene that everybody talks about when they say Roman is bad. Blake versus Roman Torchwick, the train scene. Now, if you know how the story goes, which you should, literally, go watch the episode. Everyone in Team RWBY gets paired up with a fight. These fights are interesting for their own purpose. White's fights, White Fang guy who has a problem with Sneeze. Blake fights Roman, the evil mastermind behind it. And Yang fights the best girl of RWBY, Neo. And she's the polar opposite, Yang can't just throw hands. Like, Yang can't just throw hands with Neo. Yang has to strategize. All these fights have a story behind them, which makes them good. Now, for the Roman and Blake fight, you gotta analyze Roman's character. He's cocky, arrogant, and self-confident. Now, a lot of these are synonyms. Who cares, bro? But Roman is extremely self-confident and is caught off guard. Not really because of Blake. I mean, it is not really. But her clones, they weren't cloning. Her clones were not cloning how they usually do. She was given dust by Weiss. They enhanced her semblance, and she managed to catch Roman off guard. Roman did lose this fight, but you can't say that the dust didn't play a major role, because without the dust, Blake is cooked. Like, Blake is absolutely finished. Blake was being handled by Roman during the warehouse. Blake is getting cooked by Roman. So you can't say that Roman is a terrible fighter for losing that. Now, let's go on to the next fight, the Mech fight.
Ladies, Ice Queen,
Hey!
always a pleasure. Neo, if you would.
Roman managed to get his hands on some Atlas tech and has a literal mech battle fighting Team RWBY. If you haven't watched this fight, then why are you on this video, bro? Why? Like, bro, there's spoilers here. And if you have watched it, then watch it again. It's an amazing fight in my opinion. I do love it. It's phenomenal. Now, this is the only case where you can really say Roman is bad. And, that's not even the word to really describe the events that happened. Many people say Roman is bad for losing with a mech, but he's dealing with Team RWBY. 1, they're the main characters. And 2, they have amazing teamwork. And 3, which is the statement that I really hate from people like saying, oh, he didn't defeat a bunch of first years. Yeah, bro, he should have defeated a bunch of first years. Bro, are we looking at the same first years? RWBY, someone who was trained by Crow himself, made her own weapon, daughter of Summer and Tai Yang. Bro, RWBY is blessed and gifted. Like, you expect to hit, like, what? Weiss, someone who has so much money, she could probably buy any Huntsman services, any Huntsman ever services, one of the greatest ever, to teach her. And it doesn't matter, because she has Winter. Blake Belladonna, someone who has more combat experience than all of Team RWBY, most likely because she was literally in the White Fang and the most strategic of everybody in RWBY. And lastly, Yang, the most reckless person of the group, but she throw hands. And her coked out semblance ain't one to be played with. Bro, he's not fighting Cardin. These aren't no regular first years. This isn't no Cardin. This isn't no happy huntresses. These are people who have amazing background behind them and even better team chemistry. Why are you like, how are you expecting Roman to win that? Like, bro, Roman is getting the Jiraiya Sensei treatment, but he can't even get that. Wanna know why? There's no ocean or lake or whatever, bro. He can't get that. The best he could get is a future Gohan, and he gotta find a puddle for that. So, like, yeah, Roman loses this fight. because of Yang's coked out semblance. And yeah, bro, he does a tactical retreat and he's out of there, bro. Like it's gone. He ain't fighting that. So yeah, let's move on to a point that isn't a fight, but many people look at Neo and talk about how she's one of the greatest fighters in RWBY. And want to know who taught Neo? Roman Torchwick. And you can make the claim, oh, but Neo was also learning from her academy. And it was stated that Roman had better techniques than the academy, and he had defeated many huntsmen and huntresses. Bro has experience in fighting literal humans. Bro knows how to win a fight. Bro has literally clutched many 2v1s in Roman's holiday. But you got the nerve to say Roman is a bad fighter? How? Like, you gotta be huffing some paint. Let's put this into perspective really before I go into the next one. You put Roman against all of Team RWBY, right, separately. Roman versus Ruby Road. How's that fight going? Guess what? Roman's winning that fight because Roman will be able to essentially knock Ruby's weapon out of her hand, and guess what? Ruby is cooked. Ruby is cooked from that. Ruby's not winning that fight. Want to know why? Because she can't fight without her weapon. So Ruby loses that fight off of simplicity alone. Weiss Schnee, he could probably just manipulate her. Like, let's be real. He could say something about the Schnee family that's gonna throw Weiss off. Weiss is gonna, you know, lose focus of some of her principles, aka, I have to put my foot forward, but not that forward. Yeah, she go do one of those, maybe overextend just a little bit, and it's wrapped. Blake Belladonna, the probably closest match that could probably happen there, and she got cooked during the warehouse scene, so she's getting cooked here. Like there's no point. And then Yang, bro, all you gotta do is say like you have no mom, ah ha ha ha, and guess what? Yang throwing hands, and guess what? Roman dodging. Like, it's so easy to piss Yang off to use her aggression against her, right? And even it was stated by Tai Yang, she relies on her semblance to carry her. Knock her out before her semblance comes on and it's wraps. Or even then, her semblance comes on, bro, just dodge. And I know it's easier said than done, but just dodge and you are good. So now let's go on to part 2. Battle IQ.
Look, she sent the kids again. This is turning out just like the divorce.
Now, I'm trying to make this point to show that Roman is a battle genius. Now, is he somebody who is a prospect and, you know, somebody to be looked at by the gods? No, he's nothing like that. But he can hold his own against even some of the top people in RWBY. Now, the only time we have ever seen Roman get out geniused, and let's be real, he kind of never has. You know, he mainly only lost due to his over arrogance, and most of the time his arrogance plays into either A, his demise, or when he fought Blake in the train scene. But besides that, he's never really been outsmarted. Every other time we see Roman, he's usually outsmarting everyone, even in Roman's holiday. The thing that carries him so far is his IQ, the ability to lie, cheat, steal, and survive. He knows how to handle people who love him, aka honey wine. He knows how to plan and scheme, aka his coffee takeover. He knows how to eat and drink so he can avoid being poisoned no matter who it is, and this was shown when he went to Trivia's house, aka Neo. He also is smart enough to let himself be captured by crooked cops to lead him to the boss of the operation, telling the boss directly to work for him. This man, Roman Torchwick, exudes confidence, and he has enough experience to back it up. Even his pairing with Neo is a Hall of Fame play when you think about it. He notices her semblance. He mainly despises semblance, maybe because he doesn't have one, but it's stated he would rather not have one because they all rely on brute force. Well, I guess all the ones he's seen has relied on brute force. And he himself would rather outsmart an opponent. When he first encounters Neo, he was interested in her semblance. Something that isn't just an attack, something that can be a disguise, something he can use to outsmart everyone around him. And you may ask the question, why didn't Roman outsmart Cinder? Because he couldn't. Roman is the most popular criminal around and he only trusts Neo. It would be extremely easy to recognize him, especially because he loves being recognized. If Cinder ever approached Roman, then he would tell her to work for him. She would decline and a fight would probably occur. And we all know Cinder is too strong for Roman. Depending on when Roman teamed with Cinder makes this point even stronger. Roman isn't beating Cinder in a match and he sure as hell ain't beating Cinder with Emerald's, coked out semblance. Roman can outsmart many people in RWBY. Roman cannot beat everyone in RWBY. The number one rule of life is don't die, and Roman loves that rule. If Cinder told him to work for him or die, you know which option he's choosing. But at the end of the day, it's not like Roman couldn't plan either. He could always try to get away or he could always try and take over, it's just a matter of timing, and who knows. Maybe Salem was interested in him, not Cinder, and if that's the case, Roman isn't winning those battles either. Roman is probably top 5 or top 10 smartest RWBY characters. Roman, however, is not the strongest, which is why he ends up being under some people most of the time. Moving on to the next point, his battle IQ. Now, I discussed this already previously in the last previous points, but I just want to give it its own topic. However, this would be extremely short. Roman knows how to prioritize range, as we discussed earlier. He knows how to use somebody's emotions to work against him and to get what he wants. He can fight on the front foot and he can fight on the back foot. He can adapt to his surroundings and scenarios he's placed in, and he always has an escape plan. To say Roman is over-prepared would be an understatement. He is always prepared and always has himself or someone to get him out.
Is it good or bad, Perry? Because let me tell you, I have had a day.
It's a little girl?
That would be bad.
Awareness. Roman is about as aware as Raven. Raven knows the horrors of the world. Raven knows what lies beyond. Raven, however, lives her own lifestyle alone with her tribe living off the land. Roman is aware of what lies beyond, the intentions of people, the grim, the things he can't control, and the things he's good at. Roman is extremely knowledgeable and extremely adaptable. When Roman leaves Mistral to go to Vale, he picks Vale for a reason. When Roman leaves the spiders, he does it for a reason. When Roman sends one of the twins downstairs and slightly panics, he knows that the Grim feeds off of emotions, and the twins are as hollow as it gets. Roman is aware of the situations he's put in. Roman is aware of the schemes he does. Roman knows how to handle almost any obstacle that comes his way, and if he doesn't, he's extremely adaptable. Backstory and tragedy. Roman is probably one of the saddest characters in RWBY, for me at least. Roman, who was once a good man, turned into a criminal after trying to help a lady who seemed to be in trouble. Roman, who was abandoned at a young age by his mother and struggled to survive with no one around him to help. Roman, the person who uses his hat as a way to hide his emotions. Roman just wanted someone to care for him, someone to trust, something to do. Instead, he was given a bad hand, forced or wanted to be a criminal, and frankly, became a product of his environment. Roman left the spiders, tired of working under someone, and frankly, the chance of being killed. Roman runs away and starts a new life as a criminal. Sometime later, he meets Neo, a girl who is kind of the same as him, a young girl who has no friends, no family, no trust, and frankly, was abandoned by the world. Even when he meets Neo, he has no intention of corrupting her. telling her that she shouldn't be around someone like him, how it's dangerous for someone like her to be around a guy like him. But she doesn't listen. Instead, she listens to his life story, and Roman doesn't know how to feel. Someone who doesn't vent to anyone because no one cares to hear it was finally heard by a person who he can kind of relate to. For the first time, Roman knew what it was to be heard. His experiences with Neo only further changed him as a person. He learns how to trust and put faith in her. He learns what it means to have a teammate, to have someone to rely on, and most importantly, to have a friend. However, this all gets stripped away. Roman went from someone who never had a thing to having one person, that person being Neo. And when he lost her, the cool, calm, and always calculated Roman just lost it. It's funny because he states that teammates only mess things up for him, and in a way, he was right. The bond he built up for Neo as a friend was the only thing that caused him to snap after he lost her. Roman let his emotions get the best of him, and during that moment, Roman was bird food. Many people downplay Roman as a character because they don't really understand Roman. Roman's life could have drastically been changed if he had a mother, one that actually cared for him. Maybe then Roman would at least be a better person, maybe even a huntsman. Roman, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated characters in RWBY, and you can blame that mainly on the book because the series didn't show much of Roman. But if you read the book, and I strongly recommend you to, you would understand who Roman is. And there's so many people who discredit him, but he does so much and works so hard and is actually very, very smart and intelligent, and is actually, in my opinion, one of the best characters in RWBY. In my opinion, him and Neo's story is up there with Oscar and Ozpin, or you could call it Salem and Ozma, His story is up there, in my opinion, because it's relatable. Everybody knows what it's like to be alone, what it's like to not be heard, what it's like to not have somebody to rely on, and having that be your entire life and that be the reasoning for the way you act, the way you trust people, and the way you perceive life and things. Roman lives by the code: lie, cheat, steal, and survive. If Roman maybe had a friend when he was younger, or even had a mother, I truly believe Roman could have been saved. And these are my reasonings for why I think Roman is one of the best, if not the best villain in RWBY. Someone who's misunderstood, but someone who is quite dangerous. But also a very big softie. That's the end of the video. Sorry it ended on a somber note. I know I got serious right after my first point, but that's because I just decided to stop all the joking because it was making the video extremely long, and then I know some people don't really like extremely jokey stuff, so I decided to get a bit more serious during the end, so I'm sorry. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.
Monty. Yo, what's
We've
up?
got a rare treat with Monty this week. Monty can rarely visit us in the annex because of Joe the cat.
Fuck. I love Joe. I love cats, but
You're cursed.
I came up with the theme, red, white, black, and yellow because I'm Asian.
Wow.